March 18th, 2022, about 5:15 p.m. Sun's going down. Weather, 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Blue skies with a little bit of clouds up in the air. But that's alright. It's nice and warm. And I'm out here out in the wild at the Yolo Bypass Wildlife Area. So I have three things I want to talk about. First is the purpose as to why this channel is coming about in the first place. Second is going to be on why I'm in front of the camera as opposed to behind it, because I usually am behind it. This is kind of new to me. And then third, I want to give a sort of brief of my vision, what I aim to inspire within all of you that are watching these videos and following me on this journey out in the wild. Now, the first one is going to be, as I just said, about the roadmap essentially of what I'm going to be doing here. And I'd like to begin by saying the reason why I'm making this channel is because I love nature and I love filmmaking, and I thought what better way to have those two worlds collide than start making videos about it and then posting it out on YouTube. And that brings me to how I'm going to do it, which is obviously I want to capture nature's aesthetic beauty, the grandeur of nature, because the minute I walk out into a place such as this, I start absorbing everything and having a sublime experience. And I want to be able to capture that feeling in the best way possible. I can't capture the sublime to its exactness. However, I think it'll be a way to have a good motivating factor of why else we should be out here in nature. But of course, along the aesthetic appeal of nature, I want to further explore what I feel like I'm lacking, which is a scientific background. Now, first of all, I am a budding naturalist, so a lot of the kind of science I'll be sharing with you all are my own observations, and then of course inferences from those observations. And I hope that I also include research that I do outside of the video or for the video, in that I either do research going to libraries or the internet, or even in some cases I'd like to collaborate with authoritative figures in being able to write science in a more digestible form. And with that being said, I think that when we look at nature, we could look at it in two ways. One is we can enjoy it simply because it exists. Two, we can enjoy it because there are scientific factors, or we could say biological or ecological factors that impact us, that we have an urgency to preserve, conserve, or even restore at times. And I think that being able to depict nature in this way is important, because on one hand you have blue chip style documentaries, or like the first short documentary that I have on this channel, which is more about narrating what's in front of the camera with no sort of human attachment that it can be directly related to the narrative. And then on the other hand, you have more human pieces or nature that involves the evaluation of or examination of human aspect, whether it be through a scientific lens or political lens, or let's just say philosophical lens. And this is why I'm standing in front of the camera as opposed to being behind it. There will be times where I want to flex my Attenborough and whatnot and get behind the camera and narrate everything that's going on. However, I think it's important that I also step in front of it, so that way people don't feel detached from the nature media that I produce. Because when I watch documentaries from huge networks about areas so far remote on animals or other species that are so exotic to me, I feel detached from these environments that are also often inhospitable. So it makes me think that the grandeur of nature and the extravagance of seeing wildlife can only be viewed in areas that are not within my bounds. However, that's not the case, because as you can see here, I'm at the Yolo Bypass Wildlife Area, and there are some insects buzzing around, some wildflowers starting to bloom. You can hear the red-winged blackbirds singing their song. You can hear the crickets. You can maybe even hear some frogs out in the background. But all of that, we can experience that and be happy with it. But what more can we learn is what I'd like to explore in this channel. And I want to combine that world of enjoying the aesthetic and the entertainment of nature, and then the factual and logical side of nature, and try to see if I can blend these two worlds together. Whew. I hope that was pretty digestible. That was a lot, I think. But I want to bring it down to the vision. This is what grounds me overall, because as you might see as I'm talking here, stream of conscious, I'm sort of doing this because I feel like there's a lack of what I want. What I want is for more access or more representation of what is right in front of me, as opposed to trying to make people feel something about nature when the nature that they end up loving is not even close to them. What I want for this channel to do is inspire a sense of motivation to get outside, and to also foster a more closer relationship and a closer understanding of the natural world that we end up, I hope, loving when we get to these places out in the wild. And I could go on and on and on and on talking about why I love nature and how this is going to be such a fun experience for me, because it also means taking my camera out and making something of it. But I think I'd rather say this much and then let the rest of my videos in the future just speak for itself. So if you're here, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Keep on watching, and dare I say, like, comment, and subscribe? I don't know about that one. Please do that. Anyways, I'm here out in the wild. I'm gonna go take a walk. You should too, whenever you can. Until then, you take care now.